So now let me get to you. Let me ask you this about the 5%er. How can you, my brother Rob Bourne, run around in these YouTube streets, brother, talking about pseudo this and pseudo that, but you are God body? You follow the Nation of Gods and Earths. Y'all talk about Yaqub's story. You talk about the tribe of Shabazz. You talk about the pig being cat, rat, and dog. Isn't that pseudo, brother?
I'm gonna say no, because now you have to talk to the person to find the understanding. So number one of the things that's in our lessons is we're called scientists. And what does a scientist do? You see something, you have it, you look at it, you analyze it, you check it, you research it. And then after you do that, you update and add on to that fact. The tradition will not change as far as the lessons is how they're written. The individuals who develop that understanding will be able to bring it forth to you. So, for instance, if we talk about Yaqub, right? What does that story make you do? He talks about there's two germs in the black man, one recessive and one dominant, and that these germs brought forth the white man. That's what he says. So what will this make a person do? Do you believe it or do you go do the knowledge? Now we are dealing with the science of genetics. Even though the word gene wasn't really around, we could look at what germ cells is, but we want to look at this story. Did the white man come from the black man? Is he a mutation from the black man? And the answer is absolutely yes. There are particularly two genes that is responsible for white pigmentation. That's SC4AL52 and the same letters 4 or 5. Those two genes are responsible for pigmentation, white pigmentation. When we see this come around, it comes around like around 8 or 10,000 BC or 10,000 years ago, somewhere in that range. They run through Asia. Now, within inside of the black person, these chromosomes lie dormant. They exist on chromosome 14, chromosome 4 and chromosome 5 and chromosome 14. So with that being said, does that make the story 100% correct? I go look at the government site that speaks upon the genes. I see one is black, one is brown. Does that mean that Elijah knew what he was talking about? Did this really happen? No, it makes you study science. Now you are getting the knowledge of yourself and the things that's around you. The Father taught us never to take these lessons on face value. So this is what you do. So another thing, if Elijah tells the story that the moon got blown away from the earth and it was once a part of the earth. Okay, is there any science to deal with this? Well, you have some myth story in the Quran that speaks something similar. But in science, the fusion theory, which is called the injected ring theory, where they say that a planet-sized planet hit the earth and blew it off. This is in National Geographic, etc. But guess when that came out? That came out almost 20 to 30, 40 years almost after Elijah Muhammad said this. Does that make it true that a man put dynamite in there and blew the earth up? No, that does not make that true. What it does make you do is study and see why things are what they are. Therefore, we are called the scientists. So if you ask me why I still do this, it's very simple. I don't see anything more higher than this. And the reason I say that is we are asked a question. Who is that mystery God? There is no mystery God. For the Son of Man has searched for this so-called mystery God for trillions of years and was unable to find that mystery God. So they agreed that the only God is the Son of Man and lost no more time searching for that which does not exist. This part eliminates all other religions. Even some of the aspects of our West African culture. We don't deal with no afterlife. We don't deal with no trying to find out if there's some mystery God in the sky. No, we don't have no time for that. We have a problem amongst ourselves, and we are the ones that are supposed to put these things into activation. You know what I'm saying? So to me, there ain't nothing higher than that. There's nothing higher than the self and the people and the reflection of your direct family. That right there to me is my foundation, and that will never be shaken because you can't prove to me no afterlife. You can't prove to me no mystery God. You can't do that. So why do we talk about it?
Well, I can prove to you, my brother, the afterlife, and it's right in your lessons. You just don't understand it. Mm-hmm. The afterlife, my brother. Mm-hmm. How many times you have heard the God say, all energy is constant. It just changes forms. And so when your body leaves this earth, that don't mean the energy leave. The energy is here. It just changes forms. You recreate yourself in the womb. And when that womb come forth, there goes the afterlife. You are back on the earth again, brother. So come on, Rob Bourne. You don't understand your own lessons when it's talking about the afterlife. That's just the same story of the afterlife. Now, another thing is...
Hold on, before we get to that, let's get to that. So we have a lesson that speaks about where you hope to live to see the day when the gods come and take the devils into hell in the very near future. Mm-hmm. What this is not talking about what you're talking about. So what we also do is we have a question that speaks about specifically what you just said. Mm-hmm. And it says, but brings rain, hail, snow, and earthquakes. Right? Mm-hmm. And within this part of this lesson, without quoting the whole lesson, it says that the 10% teach the people that they teach them that they will believe in some afterlife. Right? Mm-hmm. Something that happens when you die. Right. But no man has ever came back to tell the living whether they lied or not. That's what I'm speaking about when I speak about afterlife. When you look at the lessons, the afterlife is talking about once you get knowledge of self. So you were mentally dead. And this is what that lesson is talking about. That is the chance from the resurrection of that we're talking about. So the afterlife, after what life? After you lived the Pacific life and now you were born again to live a whole different form. So when I'm speaking about this afterlife, I'm talking about what our ancestors spoke about in Egypt, who believe in the afterlife, in West Africa, who believe in the ancestral realm. We, again, will lose no more time for searching for that which does not exist. That's what I mean. So you have an understanding, I can respect it, but that's what we mean when you say that.
All right. You talked about the Yaku story and the creation of the white man. As I was listening to that story, it reminded me of the Cain and Abel story, because Captain Tazoriak talks about also the creation of the white man. He said that God separated Cain and Abel in the womb of, who was that, Rebecca?
Jacob. And,
No, but the woman I'm talking about, Rebecca. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, so God separated Cain and Abel in the womb of Rebecca. One came out red with hairy all over, and the other one came out, original, like us, normal. Mm-hmm. So, brother, is that similar, the same thing, or do y'all get that from that story with just a few minor changes from the Bible?
No, not really, because it goes according to my other build. It's speaking about a group of people who are dissatisfied with the way things are being run. And a new mind frame, or you would say a new God or a new order comes into play to try to take over the rule. In every civilization, you're always going to have a group of people who are dissatisfied. This is what causes revolutions. This is the reason why no civilization lasts forever. It constantly recycles. There's a new order that comes into place. There's a new gods, meaning a new mentality or a new culture that governs the people.
All right, my brother, let's take a big leap over to West Africa for a minute. Why is West Africa so important to you? Why is talking about West Africa so important to you?
It's important because it is our direct lineage and our ancestry. So just from studying alone, just me personally from studying, I never really heard nothing about it. So we begin to hate it. Then you begin to have people in the conscious community who say they will sound like Hebrew Israelites. The Africans sold us. We don't care about these people. That goes to show that you don't know the history of West Africa. So there's one point that we constantly got to tell you is that there never was no pan-West African unity. These are all different tribes that have different lineages, different languages, in different cultures with a similarity in their stories as far as believing in the creator, ancestral realm, depending on the area, the language might be in the same language phylum, etc. So it's important to know that so you won't say these specific things and begin to hate yourself. The European has made us hate West Africa or Sub-Saharan African. Sub-Saharan Africans have been the enemy since goddamn day one. The Arabs hated us. The Jew hated us. The European hated us. You look on it's like, forget them. When you look at the archaeology and stuff over there, they real slow as far as going over there looking at them because this is where we came from. The European has won. He has made us disconnect ourselves from exactly who we are as a people as far as where we came from. And that's why I feel it's important to speak about the history. You don't have to follow a tradition just because you're there, because we are different people now. We've been here 500 years, bro. So we are a different culture, a different language. We are a conglomerate and basically the gods because we are all mixed up, all these different people. We got European in us. We got Native American culture in us. And we have numerous West African cultures in us. So we have a unique story. So that's why I feel it's important to tell it so we know how we got here, what happened, etc.
All right. I need you to hold this phone up right quick. Just hold it up. Hold it up. Let the people see it. Turn it around so it can be on the black side. Yeah, the landscape way. Yeah, like that. I want everybody to take a look at this right here. You see that? Let's say that is the source. You can put it down now. Let's say that is the source of all living beings, creatures. Somewhere you got to admit, Brother Rabon, that we are still connected to ancient Kemet, whether you want to accept it or not, because being that we all come from this one source right here, which is the ancestor. We all come from the common ancestor. Every living plant, every living thing on the planet, we are connected to somehow because we all are connected to what? The source, the foundation. So, brother, whether you want to agree or we could say, we've been separated from them over 30,000 years or whatever you want to say. But we still come from that one source. Do you agree?
All right. So first I got to qualify something. Before there was a Kemet, before there was even the word Africa, we are from that place, right? Mm-hmm. So yes. When you saying this, we talking about where they found the oldest bones at, etc. This will be East Africa, right? Mm-hmm. Now, genetically the people that all people connect to on the planet Earth, our common ancestor is from South Africa. Those are the Khoisan people, the Hazda people, etc. We genetically have a relationship to the people because we are African, right? But that does not make you those people. And in order to understand that, you have to deal with population genetics. Us, the Sub-Saharan African people, and multiple people in certain parts of Africa, we the E haplogroup. Certain one of those haplogroups, E1 and E2, was specifically only found there. Then you have E3 that splits, and that goes into Europe, Asia, etc. Now, what we're talking about something that happens splitting from a haplogroup of DE, saying they're 70 to 80,000 years ago. Now we're talking about another split. What makes people different? What makes people different is, number one, those SNPs. Yeah, hold on. We're talking about genetics first, then we could get to the culture. So those SNPs have a 1% variation inside of that. It's it's a 1% variation in that. And this is how they're able to trace people back as far as dealing with that Y chromosome, etc. So by looking at that genome and we see that, now we seeing, okay, these people did come from this point. But once you leave, we talking 40,000 years, bro. There was no Kemet. So in order for you to say that you are Kemet, that means that you have this culture, that you have this language, that you have these things. We don't have that because we was gone. Now the new DNA has a whole nother different story that came out in 2019 by David Reich. Now in West Africa, they have a different split coming from East Africa saying one went west. Now they saying 300,000 years ago, our ancestors were in West Africa. They are now calling it a ghost population. So now we got a whole nother different story to tell. How long have we actually been there? Now, does that mean that any migrations didn't happen or people wasn't doing trading? I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is when people say that these are my ancestors, you are correct, but you got to qualify it by saying these are our direct ancestors. They are not our direct ancestors. When people say that, they cut off the other part, and that part is the part that nobody wants to talk about. Skip West Africa and go straight to Kemet because it's the bling bling. It is a great African civilization, no doubt, but we got to tell our whole story, and this is what I mean by that.
I think we should be careful what we do, Brother Robon. And what I mean by that is you, Garfield, the Armin Raw Squad, NBK, and I say NBK because you are a representative of NBK, are making the Hebrews very proud, brother. When they see us going against each other, Tazariak right now is sitting up on his throne laughing at us, brother. He tells me this all the time. He said, Brother Sar, I love to see the blackity blacks go at it. He love it. He's sitting there looking at us like, yeah, go ahead, bang, go in. Because what we doing is giving them brothers fuel. So whenever you do decide to come back around to Kemet, remember they're going to be like, brother, remember you said this and remember you said that. So we got to be careful. Now, with your approach.
One question, though.
Go ahead.
What person came off the slave boat talking about they from Kemet or with any Kemetic culture?
Well, none of them. None of them, because we've been, as the Masons and Eastern Star say, brother, we've been struck a blow to the head what rendered us dead. Which one of them got off the boat saying we from West Africa? Which one of them got off the boat saying this and that? No, I'm not. No, hold on. I'm going to get to you. I could go right outside right now. Let me finish. No, brother. Bruh, let me finish, man. I'm going to let you get it. I'm not talking about us that's in the conscious circuit. I'm saying I could go right outside and pull a random brother over or sister and ask you, where are you from? Are you off the boat from West Africa? They'll look at me like, what? Am I from West Africa? I don't know. So that's what I mean by that. I'm not, of course you're going to know that. Of course I know that. But I'm saying which brother right now is going to get out here and say, yes, we from West Africa.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You all right. Those are people who just know the history. People who know the history will do that. If you don't know, then you know what I'm saying.
Oh, sweat.
You're not gonna do
Look,
it.
I just brought this dude name up and he just texted me. Look what he texted me just now. Read it loud so the people can hear it on the mic.
Garfield showed a source showing Kemet worshiping an invisible God. Yeah, they deal with the mystery God just like you, Tazariak. But it's a little different.
Wow, man. Garfield, man. See? Now give me. See, this is what I'm talking about. See, I proved my case. Soon as I talked about Tazariak, look what he did. He sends me a text because he's watching. He's sitting up on the throne looking at us go at each other. He just sent me a text and said, yo, Garfield just showed the source of the Kemetics worshiping a mystery God. Because Tazariak loved that. This is what he's going to use against us when all of y'all come back home after Jabari beat the brakes off of Garfield on March 22nd. Y'all going to come back home. But you ain't going to have nothing to come to because you already done gave everything up to Tazariak and the Hebrews. They laughing at us, brother.
I really don't care. If they laugh or not, my argument is completely different. No time did I say that we are not genetically related to these people. I said they are distant cousins. Our direct ancestors are from West Africa, and the cultures that we see that we brought here in America verifies who we are. That's all I'm saying. I'm just talking about the romanticism.
Okay.
And you're romantic.
Now I got you. Let me know when you're ready, brother. Now, by your logic, last question, Brother Robon. By your logic, when you say we've been distanced from them for 30,000 years, look at us over here, the so-called African American. Hold on. Yeah. We've been distant from our mother for 500 years, right? What about another 1,000 years? What about another 2,000 years? So by your logic, we're going to have to say, well, brother, we're not genetically connected to the West Africans. You said that. You said that we are not directly connected because we've been disconnected from the Kemet for 30,000 years. Go ahead, clear it up.
There never was that, what you're saying. Yeah. What I'm saying is that we came through these regions before there was a Kemet.
Right, I agree.
That's what I'm saying. So because we are all African, yeah, after mutations and things take place, you have a whole different group of people that develop a different culture. They're eating different foods. This is what makes a person a person. It's called intangible culture. Mm-hmm. And we're going to get into intangible culture a little later.
Eating a different food, dressing a different
Yes, but look what...
Speaking a different
language. But no matter where you look at it, you're going to see us with the drum.
Okay.
You're going to see that hip-hop banging. Mm-hmm. You're going to see us standing in the cypher.
Okay.
You're going to see that.
All right, Brother Jabari is ready. So before we get to Jabari, last quick question. You talking about West Africa. I could bring the argument to you. What about Ethiopia? Isn't Ethiopia the mother of Kemet, the mother of West Africa?
No.
Why not talk about Ethiopia?
Ethiopia don't got nothing to do with West Africa. How about that?
Genetically?
Wow. No, they don't. They don't have nothing to do with West Africa.
Wow.
I'm telling you they don't.
The mother? You saying the
no,
mother?
Listen to what I'm saying to you, bro.
You said it don't have nothing to do with West Africa.
Genetically, all people we see come from East Africa and until they find other things of different bones. When you keep saying Ethiopian, before there was the word Ethiopian, before this culture was around, there was people. There's no semantic. We talking about science. So when I told you our haplogroup and how we could see how EM82 becomes the people in Mali, we see how long this split was. That's genetically. Now the culture that we develop defines who the people are. Now Ethiopia is we can trace that. We can see who's the first people who started talking about it here in America. We could backtrack going from Marcus Garvey. We can go to the Ethiopian prophecy.
Ethiopia the mother, though.
Ethiopia the mother of who?
Kemet?
I don't know about that. I'm not sure about it. I don't know about it.
Wow.
Some people say it.
Yes.
Some people say it.
Okay.
I'm not going to say 100% that.
All right. Thank y'all, man. That's our brother Rob Bourne dropping that science, dropping the knowledge. Peace and black power.